Emilio Tutelli is a successful dentist with a thriving practice. His beautiful wife, Alisa, was once a great concert pianist when she was in her prime. Today, she suffers from extreme dementia and spends most of her days in her ornate bedroom, reliving her glory days and where the world around her has moved on. Their only daughter, Eugenia, is blossoming into a young woman without someone to guide her and help her navigate these new emotions. As Eugenia is so beautiful and she has a friend named Nicola who lives with her as a mother. At her side is her best friend Nicola, who has a teenage crush on Eugenia's father. When Nicola acts on her fantasies and seduces Emilio in his office, Emilio begins his own midlife crisis. As a middle-aged man with a mentally ill wife, is it wrong to seek out the willing affections of such a young girl? While Emilio silly attempts to create more opportunities to be with Nicola, Nicola begins to assume a motherly role when Eugenia begins to act out her own romantical frustrations. As Eugenia likes Nicola as mother and Nicola lived in Eugenia homes as acting her mother. At her side is her best friend Nicola, who has a teenage crush on Eugenia's father. When Nicola acts on her fantasies and seduces Emilio in his office, Emilio begins his own midlife crisis. As a middle-aged man with a mentally ill wife, is it wrong to seek out the willing affections of such a young girl? While Emilio silly attempts to create more opportunities to be with Nicola, Nicola begins to assume a motherly role when Eugenia begins to act out her own romantical and lovely frustrations. Things turn for the worst when the only way Eugenia can gain the attention and affections of her father is by attempting to form an incestuous relationship with him. On the surface, the Ruteles are an enviable upscale family. Emilio is a successful dentist and his practice affords them a comfortable living, evident in their luxurious home. His wife, Alisa, is a stay-at-home mom who once enjoyed a career as a talented musician. As Elisa is so mentally ill and she lived at home, their daughter Eugenia is a beautiful teenage girl who is popular at school and dotes on her father. But just below the surface of this family are some deep fissures. Elisa gave up her promising career as a pianist to marry and start a family, and resents her shattered dreams. As a result, she is deeply depressed and neurotic, causing Emilio to wonder if their best recourse is to institutionalize her and whether doing so would be in the interest of her health or to state his own selfish interest. Eugenia despises her manic depressive mother and instead lavishes all her affection to her father, with whom she has an cordial infection. Emilio is in the middle of it all, trying to be a good and loving father and husband, but is completely ineffectual under these absurdly impossible circumstances. The family is on powder keg, ready to blow. The fuse comes in the form of Eugenia's friend Nicola, a newly blonde with an appetite for older partners. The romantically experienced girl tells virginal Eugenia that she prefers a real man over idiotic schoolboys and then turns her attention to Emilio, who comes to the girl's advances in his defense. She basically forces herself and engages him before he even knows what's happening. Under the circumstances, he never stood a chance. Surprisingly, Nicola also forms a bond with a jittery Elisa and resents her cruel treatment at the hands of the daughter, showing a compensate side and adding yet another complex layer of drama to the insanity. The result is a maze of secrets and lies and a double triangle. Word related with Emilio, who actually seems a pretty decent boy, at its center between his vanished wife